What's up, everybody, and welcome back to S&E Ants YouTube channel. First off, I just want to pre-apologize. They are outside mowing the grass, and I kind of have to get this recording in today. So if you hear any kind of leaf blowers, lawn mowers, weed eaters, I apologize. So let's get into today's video. Now, if you watched last week's video, everybody has already seen that I have actually moved my entire main Pennsylvanicus colony into their new home, their new setup, and that was quite a lengthy process. Now, what I want to update on everybody is now I have the ability to move the new Camponotus Pennsylvanicus queen that we have been all following for a while, into the old mini hearth that the original colony was in, which is great news. So, as you see here, we're just going over everything. We're going to get into the video and explain the process and everything, and we got a lot of updates though. So hold on, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So before we start, let's go over their current setup. Now, if you haven't already seen, they used to be in a Tar Heel ant test tube setup. I currently moved them, as you can see in the video. Now this is going to be pretty quick. I have moved them into an Ants Canada tube and mini Outworld setup, and I actually added some pupae from the last video. I picked some pupae out, threw them in a cup for this particular queen because they've done great, but I wanted to get them up, get them going. So this is a quick little snapshot of what they're currently in and what they were in before we go into the video that should be playing here shortly. But again, I picked some pupae out and used that time to go ahead and grab some pupae out while we were moving the large colony into the new nest. I went ahead, got some pupae out, threw them in a cup, and got them ready to again brood boost the new Pennsylvanicus queen again, because it turned out so well in the first series. And if you haven't seen that, I'll link that right now up top right, and I'll link that in the description of the YouTube video. But it turned out great. It really helped keep the the Camponotus Pennsylvanicus queen alive, the new one, not my main colony. And that video was actually a really good success. Everybody really enjoyed that and enjoyed watching the process. So again, I did it again to get the queen up to par and up to speed. Now, what we're watching now is I have already cleaned the mini hearth. I just actually showed on screen. I cleaned it out. I washed it out. It's very important to do this if you're ever moving a colony into a new setup that you currently have used before. So do yourself a favor, take your time, clean the old nest. As you can see on the screen, I cleaned the glass. I completely rinsed out with hot water the old setup. Try to get all the old colonies residue out because colonies do end up getting inherently dirty over time. So whenever you're moving colonies from one nest to an old nest and you're keeping the old nest, clean it out. It's a great thing to do. That way you can kind of reuse it, or if you're eventually going to give it to a friend or sell it, it's clean for the next person to use. So real quick again, before we get really in depth in this video, remember the giveaway is up for a month. Now I kind of want to touch on that real quick. I told you guys that I would remind you every now and then. That month is going to get really close to ending here soon, if not already. So be sure that if you haven't, then you still have time. Check back the date on that video. I don't know off the top of my head when I'm recording this what that date is, but go back to the giveaway, check the date of the video, and make sure and see if you have time to still enter that. The requirements and everything are in the video. The strict rule that I made was I was posting a winner a month exactly after that video. Now, this is not going to be like a 30-day rolling month. If I uploaded the video on, let's say the 28th of May, the 29th, or excuse me, if I uploaded the video on the 28th of May, the 28th of June would be the announcement. So again, use common sense, go back, check the date, see if it's been a month. I'm not counting days, I'm just doing a rolling number, and then see if you can enter in to win the nest. It's a mini hearth, so it's a free mini hearth, why not? Now, what am I doing right now for the new colony? Now, I've already prepped everything. I've made sure to fill everything. As you can see now, I'm actually just taking the old nest and I'm dumping in the one, or actually a couple workers that I had in there. So originally, if you remember, I brood boosted with 3 workers. All 3 were emerged and come out, and actually the queen accepted them. They accepted the queen. Everything went great. So they're currently still alive. They're doing great. I'm taking my time to not damage or harm these ants because it's so important, especially with new setup colonies. Those workers are so important. Again, I apologize if you hear the lawn mowing outside. So the goal here is to get everyone and everything inside this clean, new for them mini hearth, and have the transition as seamless as possible. Again, I've said in other videos, with bigger ants, you can dump them. It's not going to hurt. Now, I'm not saying throw dump them, like just chunk them in there or anything like that. Don't do that. Just give them a nice little slide in. They'll be okay. And again, I want to make sure that all the pupae that they have already accepted from the old colony, this is a new brood boosting I just did in between videos when I moved the main colony into the new nest. I took some pupae out and gave it to them. They all accepted them immediately because, she, like I've said in other videos, she's a lot less aggressive. She didn't attack these. They actually accepted them really well, and everything is going smooth. So as you can see, I've already dumped them in there. Everything is set up. I have set up the nest mate. I have pre-filled the humidity chamber in the bottom, and I actually filled the nectar feeder already. She's flipping over and acting a little crazy, but you can see she's a little distressed right now, but not nearly as bad as she's been in the past. So they're exploring right now. They're trying to figure out what's going on. Their whole nest and everything has been flipped upside down. They've been dumped out. As you can see, a couple of workers are already going into the nest, which is great. This is what you want to look for. Typically, workers or nenetics will immediately look for a new environment to move the queen. They want to get out of the light. They want to get everybody protected. I know you can't see it in the video, but there are a few eggs in this mix of pupae that they have been sitting on for a while. So they're in there along with the pupae, along with the queen, along with the 3 workers. I will give you an update on this colony later if I haven't. And again, if you don't already know, my shorts are a lot more updated than my videos. I do the videos and they're spread out across a couple weeks. My shorts are typically what's going on that week. So if you're curious of getting an update about this video, if it hasn't already been released, go back on the channel, look at the shorts, and they are typically the most up-to-date videos that you can watch about the colonies themselves. So whether it be the main Pennsylvanicus colony, the new Pennsylvanicus queen colony, which you're watching right now, or my Castaneus colony that I do show on the channel from time to time. I'm trying to draw attention to that too, but typically the focus around this channel is this new queen, getting her into a position where the main colony is. And I think a lot of newer ant keepers and maybe even experienced ant keepers have trouble with this, where they get a queen, she's not typically doing good off the start, and from what I've researched and talked to other ant keepers about, Camponotus queens can be very hard to start. Now once the colony gets going, they're great. The colonies are great. I can tell you my main Pennsylvanicus colony does wonderful. I love just, going over there, checking them out every now and then, and they have no issues with eating or growing. But typically a lot of ant keepers have trouble towards the start of these colonies, especially on our takeoffs, because it's really hit or miss with the queens. So I encourage you that if you have the ability to brood boost them, do it if you possibly can. It helps so much in the entire process to get the colony started and going. There's a couple different methods you can do this. If the Pennsylvanicus queen is native to your area, see if you can find a wild colony, not to destroy, let me make that very clear, but if you can nab some wild pupae from them and throw them into your colony, and as long as your queen accepts them, that should help. Or if you have some friends that may already have an established Pennsylvanicus colony, you can borrow some pupae from them, or well, get some from them. I'm not going to say borrow, but or if you already have an established Pennsylvanicus queen or colony, you can borrow from them. Now, I don't know if this method is universal across Pennsylvanicus species. I don't know. I haven't really tried that yet. You could always, again, do this with caution. Borrow some pupae from any established colony of Camponotus and see if it works. Now, I have warned or outright told everyone in my videos in the past not to do this because it's honestly not a good idea. Especially if you're on a single colony or only have 2 colonies or a weak colony, something along those lines. You want to take precautions as much as possible. But maybe here in the future, we can try to see if maybe my Pennsylvanicus queen, this particular one, the new Pennsylvanicus queen, would accept maybe a few pupae from my Castaneus colony, and you'll see 1 or 2 Castaneus workers in there in the colony, a couple of red workers in there. So we could always experiment. It's not going to hurt the Pennsylvanicus colony, and it shouldn't hurt the Castaneus colony because they're actually well established now and taking off as well. I just have to do an update video on them. So what we're going to do here is kind of fast forward. I don't want this video to be too long. I just kind of want to show everybody the transition from their old Ants Canada setup, and we can go over that really quick. So in previous videos, I had them in a test tube setup where they had the Tar Heel ants insert, and then she was by herself. She couldn't get a colony established by herself. I was struggling with her. She would always get to the larva stage, and then I'd come check a day or 2 later, and the larva was gone, and I assumed that she ate them because, in essence, she's starving. Even when I gave her food, she was still starving. So, again, in previous videos, one of my main viewed videos on the channel, we did a brood boost. It was successful. I've done an update since then on that. That's another video that I can link here in the top right corner. And the 3 workers came out. Now, once the 3 workers came out, she kind of stabilized as far as she was getting food and protein. When I fed the workers, they would give her the food and the protein and the sugar water or the nectar, what I use. But again, the issue is the test tube setups are kind of temporary setups. You really need to get them a dedicated nest, and this is kind of the goal. I've been waiting for these nests to come in for a while, and I couldn't level up, so to speak, the colonies until I got that in. So we got the nests in. I got the main Camponotus colony moved in, and now I can finally clean this current nest out and give them a new home to establish in permanently. So once we got them moved, which you're watching now, we got them moved in. The pupae are in the actual nest themselves. As of now, this recording is a little old, and I will do a video update here soon about this particular one. But they're doing fantastic now. She's laying. I can put the heat cable in. I think the most important part to remember is ants do need heat to a certain extent. So you can maneuver the heat cable, as I've shown, underneath these mini hearths, and the heat radiates through the mini hearth up into the nest, and it really helps the young brood grow not super fast, but at an accelerated pace than room temperature. So that she's been able to lay again, she's been able to eat. They've been feeding her. Actually, again, I don't know if I particularly do it in this current video, but I put the nectar water in there for them to venture out of the nest and get it when they want it. And then again, I've been feeding them just a little piece of chopped up mealworm about once a week, because again, smaller colonies won't eat as often as larger colonies, so you got to keep that in your mind. You feed them once a week, and that will hold them for quite a while, compared to my main Pennsylvanicus colony that I can throw a couple mealworms in and be gone in a week, and they still eat again. So they don't have a lot of brood to feed, so you got to keep that in mind. So all in all, everything was a success with this move. She's doing fantastic. I'm gonna do an update video for everybody. I know this video in particular wasn't very engaging as far as camera movement and stuff. I wanted to kind of show the process of them moving in, and I kind of wanted to show what they were in before, explain everything, and then them moving into the new nest. So what I'm going to do for the last few minute something like that of this video, I'm going to do just a quick fast forward so you guys can see the entire process, and then that's pretty much going to be the end of this video. I kind of wanted to give an update on this. So I hope everyone's having a great day. Thank you so much for all the support on the channel that you guys have given me, all of the comments, all of the subscribers, everything. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are the reason I do this. I wanted to give everybody, my standpoint on how these nests work, how these ants work, and my passion and hobby for them, and kind of give my experience to everybody on the YouTube. So I can't thank everyone enough. And again, remember, check that giveaway, see if it's over yet. Until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out. Hey, S&E Ants here. If you enjoyed this video, check out this recent upload of this recommended video. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button in the middle of the screen. And if you liked what you just watched, hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. If you have any other suggestions or ideas, comment down below. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.